Hi everyone. Here we are again at Homestead on Perry Highway. I do a lot of our programs from here. They're located in front of Movies of Meadville, and again I want to thank Lisa Bailey for letting us be here. Today's program is really an exciting one, and one that's really close to my heart. So many of you I know are seeing and running into therapy dogs in the community. You see them in the churches, you see them at the cancer center, you see them at Meadville Medical Center, the schools, anything like that. And what we want to do today is take the time to explain to you exactly how do you get a dog from being just the family pet or one that maybe you're even thinking about getting at some point, all the way and through the steps that you would take to get that dog to be a therapy dog. I'm going to give you some basic information that's going to help you quite a bit. And then after that, the best part of the program is going to be I have about 10, maybe 12 dogs that are here with their handlers that are going to explain to you during this filming their dog, why they do what they do, and things like that. Having therapy dogs is an enormous commitment. You spend a lot of time, once you go through all the steps and you finally have the certified therapy dog, then whenever you go from that and then you start the visits at the various facilities where you in the community see us all the time, it's a big commitment. But we want to explain to you, if you are ever thinking about this, what you have to do to get to that point. So the most important thing that's always a question is, what is the difference between a therapy dog and a service dog? The service dog is a dog that's trained to be with people with disabilities. That might be the dog that does something for somebody that has seizures, somebody who's unsteady when they're walking, somebody that has maybe diabetes or something like this. This is a trained dog that goes to wherever. Usually you have to go through an organization to get a service dog, and that dog is with that person all the time. It's part of the Disability Act, and as a person who might have a restaurant or something like that, these dogs have rights. The service dogs can go into restaurants, they can go anywhere. They're part of the American Disability Act, and that's known as a service dog. These dogs are not for you to pet, they're not for you to go up to and talk to. They're totally 100% dedicated to their owner. The other type is a therapy dog, and that's what we have. And the therapy dogs are the ones that give comfort and affection to people in various situations. For instance, these are dogs that you might see at the Barco Center or the Cancer Center or Meadville Medical Center, or you would see them in a child care, or you would see them at any of our retirement villages, or any place like that. They are there strictly to give comfort and support to the people. They stand there so people love them, kiss them sometimes, pet them the entire time, and spend time with people. That is a therapy dog. They have absolutely no rights to go into a place such as a restaurant or any place like that. We are invited to go somewhere where a service dog has the right to go somewhere. And that's really quite a difference. But there's another one that's kind of questionable, and that's people that claim they have an emotional support dog. You will find that an emotional support dog actually does not have any specific certification. It's usually a person that has that need, goes to a doctor, gets that doctor to sign that that person needs that dog for the emotional support. But they don't even have as many rights as a therapy dog. So now you know the difference between, we've talked about the service dog, you know about the therapy dog, we know about the one over here that's the emotional support dog, and of course the most important dog is a dog that belongs to the people and is the family pet. And a family pet probably falls into the category of a therapy dog and also could be an emotional support dog. So what do you do if you say, you know, I was just down at the hospital today and I saw this really nice dog walking through, and boy, I would really like to consider having a therapy dog. There's some steps you have to go through. They're very simple, but there's things you have to do to get your dog to the point of being a therapy dog. So number one, you've got to get the dog. And usually you should make a pretty good decision on the type of dog that you want to get. There are certain dogs that are very good as therapy dogs. It doesn't matter the size of the dog. More important than anything is the disposition and the dog that you pick. The dog has to be a year old. Then you've got to go to a training class. What you're looking for a dog with good manners. You're looking for a dog that doesn't jump on people, doesn't pull on a leash and pull you down, a dog that socializes well with other dogs. You can find a trainer by going on online or looking under the American Kennel Club or any place like that to find a good trainer in the area. Find an organization. Now, the organization that I'm associated with is the Alliance of Therapy Dogs. We're located out of Cheyenne, Wyoming. It is far away, but they are the people that do our enrollment and also provide for us liability. Liability, you want that more than anything. You want to know that if something goes wrong when you are working as a handler with a therapy dog, if something crazy would happen, someone would trip on the leash, someone would grab at the dog or anything like that, you've got liability coverage. When our dogs are visiting and working, they have tremendous amount of liability insurance, so you want to check that out. Now, once you do that and you find the organization, our organization, the Alliance of Therapy Dog, then requires you as the handler to get a background check. But they need to know that they're giving you their insurance and their liability insurance that you can pass a background check. That's your first amount of money you have to pay, of course, after you have purchased the puppy or whatever. But the background check is done very easily, and that just says that as far as the Alliance of Therapy Dogs is concerned, you're a reasonably good citizen and you can be a handler of a therapy dog, and therefore you can go to a lot of places to represent the Alliance of Therapy Dogs with your dog. Before your dog can go through anything as far as a certification is concerned, you've got to have a health verification. That involves undoubtedly the rabies and all the necessary shots, and they're going to require a clean fecal. You're going to have to sign that you have seen a veterinarian within the last year. Okay, so now we've got you, you've gone to the organization, you've done the background check, and you've done the health program for the dog. Next thing is you meet with me, and then we check to see how the dog does in general. And the things I'm looking for is the dog under control? You've got to have a dog that walks on a leash, doesn't pull, and you as the handler, this is important, you are not using brute strength to control that dog. It isn't because you see how hard it is to hold on to them, and that's how you control them. They've got to be under control, and as I said, especially to be on a leash. Then we check how your dog responds to other dogs. It's called the dog-to-dog contact. A few things, does your dog lunge at another dog or anything like that? That's not going to work. If your dog growls, I'm sorry, goodbye, it's not going to, that doesn't work either. Can be nothing like that. And something that people don't think about is if your dog tends to stare and center in and stare at another dog. A dog that just stares and looks and can't get their eyes off another dog is usually not a good sign. And that's usually a sign that there could be something down the road as far as any form of aggression. So you're going to look at the dog-to-dog contact. And the third thing is as far as touching that dog. So you bring the dog over to me, sits down in front of me, and I put my hand on, I ask you as the handler, is there any place this dog's going to have a problem if I touch them? And you would hopefully say no. And then can I touch the dog's ears? Can I touch the dog's tail? Can I pet the dog? Can I touch the feet? And so on. Why is that important? Let me tell you, when you go to the child care, you can never tell what those kids are going to grab next. And you have to tell them the proper way of what you can touch and what you cannot touch. Had a problem one time where a person in a nursing facility grabbed a dog's ear. We couldn't get the person's hand off the dog's ear. So those are important things. So can your dog put up with people touching them, touching their feet and all those type of things? Fourth step, you're going to do an on-site observation. And that's done for several reasons. How do you respond in that? Is this really something you want to do? Some people are great doing all of this, and then they get in there and say, I don't want to do this. I really don't like going to the nursing home, or I don't like to talk to people like that. So it's an on-site observation, and that's when I take the time to give you some hints. And there are some hints on how to position the dog, what can the dog do, what can the dog not do, how to get the dog where they have to be, how do you approach people, how do you make sure your dog can pass the test. That's another important thing. So that's the on-site observations. And after that, you get to be certified. You send everything into, in my case, the Alliance of Therapy Dogs, and then you get the information back saying that your dog has passed as a certified therapy dog. That's a big day. People send me pictures of their certification, which looks like I have here in front of me, and you get a picture of the certification, And then you also eventually, we ask you to put one of these on. This is a lanyard that we have made that says Paws Hand Delivered, which is our local therapy dog group. So that also holds your certification. And then the dog also wears a small little red heart on their collar. And the last thing you have to have is you have a red vest for your dog to have on. And we ask you to wear these in the majority of places. You wouldn't think about this, but when I'm at the hospital with my dog and I'm standing outside emergency and everybody's coming in just to be there to get treatment, they might think, oh, wait a minute, let's see, if she can have her dog in here, why can't I bring my dog in there? So you'll find at some facilities, and one in our situation is the hospital, a dog doesn't get in there, and I don't get in there unless I have my lanyard on, unless I have on a lanyard from the hospital where I am, unless my dog has a red vest on, and unless the dog has the little red heart on. So that's our pass thing, so people in the community see us. Therapy dog or service dogs sometimes have different types of colored vests. Different therapy organizations have different colored vests. Ours have this particular vest here. So that gives you an idea of what it's going to take you to get to this point. Honest to gosh, it's not hard at all. And if you are committed to doing this, I can make you into a pretty good handler without too much trouble. If you'll listen to what I'm telling you to do, and it's really, really quite simple. The commitment is the hardest. And if you want to do it, and you truly believe in it, I think it's the most fantastic thing you can do. But the feeling that I get, and the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life, considering all the kids I've taught for 31 years in that, the most rewarding thing is the time I spend at the facilities with the individuals and the residents and people there with my therapy dog. To look on people's faces when I walk in is unbelievable. If we are not there, it's not fair, because they're waiting for us, even as it is in the hospitals. We are part of their everyday life or their weekly or monthly visit, and it's important for us, once we say we're going to be there, to be there. You can't decide, well, I've got something more important, I don't think I want to do it for a couple of weeks. No, you have committed, and that's the only thing that I require if you get involved with our group. But I will guarantee it's probably the most wonderful thing that you'll have an opportunity to do. So that's the most important thing. Now what I want to do now is going to give you an opportunity to meet some of these wonderful dogs. They are wonderful. They're fantastic and better and as good as the dogs, of course, as their handlers. A dog is only as good as a handler. Unless I've got a handler that can handle this, you could have the best dog in the world and they're just not going to make it. So it's important for you to make sure that you understand all the steps you have to go through and decide, is this really something I want to do? Now, this is what I was telling you about, which makes me so excited, is the opportunity to show you and explain to you and give you some information about, I think we're going to do about 12 or 15 different therapy dogs. So, I'll start with Denny. Introduce yourself and your dog, and let's do this.
Well, my name is Denny Fenton. I'm a local general dentist in town, and this is Winnie O'Reilly Fenton. She's a 3-year-old Shetland sheepdog, Sheltie. And she came to us from a breeder out in Conyerville. So she's local. Come, Winnie.
And why did you join PhD? What made you do this?
I've always been interested in a little bit of the therapy dog and being in the healthcare field. I wanted to branch out into something a little bit different. Winnie came along, and with her very good personality, she fit right in.
You've always had Shelties.
Your
mother and father had them too, right?
Yep.
So you grew up with these all your life?
Yep.
Okay.
Although we went 6 months without one and 34 years of marriage, and I saw an ad in the paper and I said, let's go out and check them out. So we did, and yeah, she's been with us for 3 years. She's missed 1 day of work. She had to get her nails done one afternoon. But other than that, she's been with us every day at the office.
And what does she do at the office? Well, I love this story. What does she do? Why would you want a dog at your office?
She's at our front desk, and she has her circle of friends. We have a little baby gate. So she's at the front desk with Kim, our office manager. And she has certain people like Matt, our FedEx guy. She'll jump up on the desk and get a treat from Matt. A lot of our close friends, my father, she recognizes. Her vet set her leg. She broke her leg when she was only 2 months
Oh,
old.
I didn't know that.
And the vet will come into the office, not say a word, and Winnie knows she's there. But, you know, the deep story with Winnie and Kim, our office manager, and this is something I want to talk to you in length about, so this is totally off script. She doesn't know this. But Kim and her husband Jack lost their oldest child, Brad. He was serving in active duty for the United States Air Force. And Kim, we went to Dover for the ceremony, and my wife and I never want to see that amount of grief again in my life. It was just to see these big military people just crumbling. I mean, it really made me appreciate it, what they do for our country and what they go through. So Winnie came in, and Kim confided in me just this week that if it wasn't for Winnie, she wouldn't have been able to come back to work.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
And to this day, you know, grief comes in waves. If she's having a bad day, Winnie stands up, puts her nose on her knee, and she gives her a little hug. So thank God for Winnie. It's really something else.
I hate dentists. And I think we all do.
Yeah,
they're not our
everyone's
favorite
got a
person.
phobia.
But I heard if I really have a phobia and I don't want to be there, even though you're not my dentist,
Right.
can she sit on my lap when you're filling my teeth?
She can sit on patients' laps when they get routine dental work done. If
Okay.
it's something intricate, no.
What about a filling? How about when you're picking on my teeth? I hate that.
Definitely for the cleanings. Yeah.
Okay.
And she'll actually fall asleep. She usually rests from the ankle or from the waist down to the knees. And she's very, very good with kids. Now we have kids come in just to see Winnie, and she'll just lay down, just hang out with them.
Where do you visit as a therapy dog?
Oh boy, where don't we visit?
I know.
I was thinking about that. We went to the admissions or the administration at Meadville Medical Center, a women's shelter, Allegheny College during finals week, the oncology center over here across the street, the
And
TCU,
where do you particularly go? You're basically the TCU person.
TCU and Vernon Place. I really like Vernon Place. And your favorite, Dr. Paul Euler. We go to
Yes, I hear
every
that
Tuesday
too.
we go down
Yes.
to his office.
Would you recommend Paws Hand Delivered to somebody?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well,
But
we love having you.
what I'd like to see happen, I've been doing a lot of reading on this, is it seems like the VA is getting more involved with therapy dogs and veterans, especially with PTSD.
Wouldn't let us in there for a long time. Real quick story. I had Martin that I talked about in my first segment here, and I had a worker with me that had been at the VA hospital in Pittsburgh for 7 months, and we couldn't get the dog in, wouldn't do it no matter what. And all of a sudden, then we finally got the arrangement. So we took the dog down. Here's the guy who works for me. Quick story. He comes around the corner. Hadn't seen my dog in 7 months. He was at the VA hospital. He came around the corner and he started to cry. He was just overwhelmed with seeing the dog. So they're so important. Now the VA place going in up here by Vernon, I think we need to get and with you, we can do that, get ourselves in there real soon.
If anyone's at the VA's listening, I had a person who would volunteer to be the go-between us.
Perfect. Let's
and
do
the VA.
it. Let's do it.
One other story, and I don't want you to get mad at me. But the TCU is Transitional Care Unit for Meadville Medical Center. And the tough thing there is patients either going to go home or they might be going to a nursing facility. So when you go to TCU to work, they have the name of the patient, Joe, John, Susie, and they have a metal paw magnet on the door. So that meant that John wants to see the dog. Well, this night there was a patient by the name of Guido that wanted to see the dog. So we go in there, now it's an October night, rain, storm, dark outside. We go in there and I realize I know Guido from years ago as a kid. And he saw her before I could say anything. He picked her up, put her in his bed.
Yep.
And then I looked over the amber lighting of his light above his shoulder, and all I saw was Winnie's nose and his nose touching each other. And he, being an elderly fellow, his voice went up. It's like he was an 8-year-old boy, and he was giggling with this dog.
Yep.
And then I read in the paper a week later, he passed. So if you think of anything with PhD, think of what you're doing for other people, and it doesn't take long. We were in that room 5 minutes, and we just made this night. And it made me feel a lot better, too.
Perfect. Well, thanks for bringing Winnie, and we'll get to the next person.
Sounds
Appreciate
good.
it. Thanks, Danny.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Okay, will do. Thanks.
Come on, Winnie.
Okay, the next one that's on, let's go. Here we got one here. Oh, here's a devil. Okay, as soon as we get, you should have the next one almost ready to go then.
Okay. When you leave,
I'll tell them where. They know where to go. It's all in that handout that I gave them. Okay, here we go. Who do we have here?
We have Callie.
Callie. Hi, Callie. Tell us about Callie.
Callie is a 6-year-old chocolate lab.
Chocolab.
Yeah.
And you are?
Molly.
Molly who?
Molly Moyer.
Okay, with Callie, or a 6-year-old lab. And she's a 6 And why did you join PhD, besides I was on your case about it?
Bugged me forever. Callie's a pretty gentle lab and very kind. And I thought she probably had things that she could offer to our community.
oh, no, I didn't know.
Yes, and how long have you been in PhD?
I just joined in April.
Okay, and you're one of the ones I really want to do this with because you are a full-time teacher.
I am.
And you also, how many different activities?
Many.
Give me just a few. At school?
After school, I do a choir, I do a string ensemble, I do a barbershop group.
All those things.
All of those things.
So you've got a terrible schedule, right?
Pretty crazy.
But in the summer, you don't have quite as bad of a schedule.
Correct.
And you have done what for us this summer?
I have been able to visit the prison regularly at Juniper Village.
Mm-hmm.
I'm now in charge of the Meadville Public Library Children's Hour,
Right?
and I also visited the Conneaut Lake Child Center.
And in our conversation last night, when we were at the golf course, we talked about the fact that Thursday nights we're going to hopefully, because you're going to be free and so am I, because we both golf, but starting in September, we're going to try and make it to
Embassy Park Avenue.
Embassy Park Avenue, because we can work around our schedules. That's what I want you to understand. We will work around your schedule. Molly is probably one of the most busy people in all of Meadville, and especially in the school system, but I can get her when I can, and then whenever summer comes, and whenever, or summer, but even our vacations, because I drive school bus, and our vacation time, like I said, we're going to check that schedule, and we're going to have these dogs. This dog is fantastic. Everybody loves her, and she's a keeper.
She is a keeper.
Anything else we need to know? How important was training?
Oh, training is very important. Callie went through, I believe, 5 or 6 levels of Red Ball Dog Academy, which is Robin Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very important, not only for her, but mostly for me. So I learned how to properly train her and things that were good to help her do the right things and things that were bad. So
She's good. They love her.
a dog that's a little bugger, I highly recommend getting training.
Okay, we're good. Thanks very much. I appreciate it. Anything else you want to add?
I don't believe so.
We're good. Goodbye, Callie. See you, Callie, which is Callie.
Yeah.
Callie, they're all the same. Okay. All right, thanks a lot. Next one in. Here we go. This is going to be a little bit different. We're just going to talking again about one of the things you can do whenever you have a particular job. And here with me is Brenda Hurdle, and who is this?
This is Cooper.
And tell us about Cooper.
So Cooper is a 6-year-old English Labrador, and is loving his job.
And tell them why you wanted a dog, and what does he do for you, and what school are you?
So I work at General McLean High School.
Oh, naturally on her shirt.
Naturally on my shirt.
Okay.
And Cooper comes to school with me. I did have to get an added insurance policy to take him to General McLean because I also work there. But Cooper comes with me. I have a kennel in my office, and we do a lot of classroom visits. We greet the students in the morning. We do some lessons on some differences between types of working dogs or just in the school to kind of help kids feel comfortable and relaxed and
The kids love him.
love him. I am the most popular person when I have the dog there.
I'm
They
sure.
Love Cooper, and Cooper loves it. If Cooper knows we're going to school, do you like seeing the kids? Do you like seeing the kids?
He's good, and we worked a little bit on that because this has been a new thing. It used to be that if you had a dog, that the Alliance of Therapy Dogs, if you had a job, you weren't allowed to take them to that job with you and still have them covered. And she said she got additional insurance, but now they're really pushing that, and we're so excited. We have Cooper at General McLean.
Yep, and we have Lincoln. Lincoln is my other therapy dog.
Who just passed.
Who just passed. He is a black Labrador and an American breed, so he's a little bit smaller than Cooper.
Right, and we also have this occurring, and she's not with us today, but we also have it at Pencrest School District, and the person there is Danielle
Yeah.
Haney, and she has the cyber school. So in her office, where the kids stop all the time to get some help with cyber school, they have that dog too. They're fantastic in the schools.
Nice. And then also, I didn't know if you wanted me to talk a little bit about Brianna.
Is she with you?
She is not.
Okay, well tell them what we do with Brianna.
So Brianna is my daughter, and Brianna is also certified with Cooper. She is a junior handler, and in order to be a junior handler, she did have to meet all the requirements that full handlers meet, and she tested with Cooper, and she can be with Cooper as long as I'm there, and loves it, and is gonna start doing visits soon here too.
We have never done that. And when she mentioned it to me, I said, yeah, I think we ought to consider doing that. She had the daughter that wanted to do it, you had the other dog, and it was a perfect combination. So Cooper works there, and now you're gonna switch off and off when you're at the school, because you are the handler for Cooper and Lincoln.
Correct.
Your daughter is only for Cooper, although she could eventually also do it with Lincoln.
Yep, that way my husband has his time. Both dogs do hunt.
Yeah, they're
so-
right. They're also used as that too. That's an interesting thing, because they're hunters, but they do this on the side.
Yep, and Cooper loves it. I think Cooper, don't tell my husband if he's watching this, would rather go to school with me than he would duck hunting.
Yeah, he's very popular. And when you have parents that come in the office and that, do they respond well to him also?
Love him, love him.
I'm sure.
Huge community support. We've had local people come and really get excited about having a dog in the school. We also have Paws Hand Delivered dogs that come into Edinburgh Elementary and our middle school to kind of help as well.
One of the things, just to interject real quick, is whenever we've had tragedy, God forbid we have tragedies, but we do have them, they're part of life. A lot of times it helps because our Paws Hand Delivered dogs, but of course your dog and of course Danielle's dogs are on site. And whenever the kids are dealing with a tragedy that has occurred with somebody that they know in the school or a teacher or something like that, they're great as far as doing therapy there, and the kids know them.
Oh, absolutely.
Helps a lot.
Absolutely.
Anything else you want to add?
No, I think that about covers it.
Would you recommend Paws Hand Delivered?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Great organization to be involved with. Great handlers, great dogs.
Good.
Of course, you're awesome.
Oh, yes, right. Well, we're done with this interview. Thanks. See you later.
you.
Okay, next one in. Oh, now we're going from the big to the little. This is, you want to pick him up and hold him?
Let's see.
Cute as can be.
So this is Oscar.
Yes. And what kind of dog is Oscar? Who are you?
Oh, I'm Julia.
Besides being the handler of Oscar.
Yes. So Oscar is a Bichon mix. He
Yes.
is 10 years old, and he has just started his journey being a therapy dog.
What made you do this?
Well, I've been thinking about it for a long time, and I started volunteering in the Edinburgh Elementary School, and on the front door, they had a picture of a dog.
Right.
And I said, this is it. This is what I've always wanted to do. And I thought Oscar would be good at it. So I got started.
Well, not only is Oscar good at it, Julia, but you're good at it. And you're good at it because you were a what before you retired from what?
So I worked in the field of early childhood education.
Right.
And so I think that this was a pretty good match with Oscar. And we've gone to senior homes, we've gone to childcare, and we also went to the Meadville Library for children to read to him.
Did you rescue him? Or have you had him since birth?
No. Oscar came to me when he was a year old, and he was with a family that just could no longer keep him, so this is the first dog I've ever had.
He is cute, and I check on everybody all the time, and he is such a hit where he goes to the library and all those places. He's a natural at it. He's very, very good at it.
Well, I think after he has a visit, we're both tired.
I
And
know.
we both have a
And
good
people
nap
don't realize that. I was at Meadville Medical Center today, and I was leaving, and someone said, "What's it like whenever Maddie gets home?" I said, "She's exhausted." Because they're just exhausted. The emotion that comes out from the resident or from the person to the dog, displayed through the hands and the touching, all that stuff, is good, of course, to the person who's getting the pet therapy help, but a lot of it is transferred to them. People don't realize that, and that's why it's so hard on them.
And I think he's thinking all the time.
Do you really?
Oh yes, because we did training class, and it was the same thing. He would be so focused and so thinking, and I really do think that he is just paying attention, and he knows what he's supposed to do or not do.
Did you have him groomed recently?
Yes.
He looks wonderful.
Yes, and that's the thing about little Bichon dogs is they don't shed, but they do need groomed. So just so happened that he was scheduled for this week.
Well, he's doing a wonderful job. That's everything I hear. I know they're going to be happy to get you up at the Edinburgh area and down at Cambridge Springs. If you're really nice to us, you'll come and check with us occasionally in the Meadville area, because he is good, and we'll get you at the library and all those places.
Yes, well, I think we're both enjoying it.
Good. Well, we're enjoying him and enjoying you too. Anything else you want to add? Would you recommend Paws Hand Delivered, obviously? And you told me where you visit. I like you in the schools because the kids need that. But you know the advantage of the small dogs is you can put them on the beds in the nursing homes, and that is so important to the people.
Right.
They like that. Look at him just staring and checking this all out.
He is.
Cute as can be. Well, thanks very much. I appreciate you coming.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, do me a favor when you leave. Close that door at the top behind you.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Okay, who's next? Oh, here comes the two that I don't think I have the strength for, but we're going to try. Okay, over here, and you can get beside her or wherever you want to be. Oh, you're going to be. Oh, this is my favorite handler. This is. Who are you? Introduce yourselves in the dog. Turn Bella around here.
I'm Frank Jablonski. This is my wife, Leslie Jablonski, and this is our dog, Bella.
And what do you do what do you do, Leslie?
I'm a nurse at the Yolanda Barco Center. Monday through Thursday, I'm there. That gives me Fridays to take Bella on visits, usually to Juniper's where we go.
And Frank, what did you do before I got so lucky to grab you?
I retired from corrections, and I'm retired now, and I started doing this with you.
You don't look very corrected to me. You were the correction place. Hey, this is an interesting dog. This is an interesting combination because it's the husband and wife deal. You two are married, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. A long time?
29 years.
Oh my God. You deserve an award for that.
I try.
Yes. Bella's wonderful, and this is what she does. I just heard someone tell me this. She comes up to the person, and she is here to do one thing for me. She's here for me to pet and to be there. It isn't like you got to push her over. You got to make sure she's there. She wants to do her job.
Yes.
And she, for some reason or other, seems to know what that job is. And
Yeah.
she goes in places.
We just got lucky. We got her from the Humane Society here in Crawford County, and she's been this way ever since we got her.
Where do you visit?
Crawford County Care Center. We go up to
Westbury.
Embassy in Westbury.
Westbury?
Yes.
Yes. And you are, I'll say this, I shouldn't say this because I don't want it to be any record that I'm making this nice comment, but you are fantastic in the group because you're so good with the older people. Why is that? Did someone tell me a relative was in a nursing facility for a while, or?
Well, my grandfather was in a nursing home
Okay.
for a long time, but I told you it's, it's interest of mine that I feel it's a segment of our population that has been left behind and sort of neglected a little bit.
I tell that all the time. Whenever I first sit down with people that are planning on doing something with therapy dog work, and they all want to go to the cool places. They all want to go to the hospital, the cancer center. They want to go to the college. That doesn't cut it with me very much. Frank, you're my favorite, one of my favorites, because he wants to go where I want to go. And that's the people that don't get visits.
Yeah.
We can sometimes be at Crawford County Care, Westbury, wherever it is, and these people probably haven't seen anybody all week, maybe even much, much longer than that. And sometimes I've got to go back and find out where Frank is, because I left him back talking to somebody, and I have to remind him there are many more people that need to, they need to meet Bella, and they need to meet you, and you're very good at that. He also tries real hard to personalize his visits by the name of the people on the doors and stuff like that. So I like the dog, but in this case, I like you as the visitor because you're really very, very good at it. Leslie, where are you going to be able to go with her?
Where am I going to be able to go?
Evenings, of course.
Evenings, wherever you need me in the evenings. I go to TCU.
And Juniper, you could do Juniper.
I do Juniper on Fridays.
Well, she's a
And,
keeper.
Mostly the evenings, and same thing, the nursing homes is what interests me.
She is so low-keyed and laid back, and she's wonderful because she's very unthreatening, and she just goes in. And if you, I don't know whether or not my cameraman caught this, but whenever she came in, and I don't see her very often, she was right over to me, and then she's standing, and as long as I want her there, she's going to stand.
Absolutely.
And then if she's going to leave me, it's because it's time to move on to somebody else. So
Yep.
she really does a great job.
Yep. And
Anything else you want to add? No, not today. Okay, well, I'll keep an eye on you, just so I know where you are.
that's why I need you to keep an eye
Yeah,
on
I keep an eye on him, and I know I can call him. The advantage of having someone like Frank who's retired is that a lot of us have crazy schedules, and as many of you know, I drive school bus. Frank is available if I need him, and if I can call him and say, Frank, I need someone to go to such and such place, somebody else canceled, they got sick, they can't make it. He's available to go. That's great, so we can cover. We talked about that during the first part of the program, and that was about people's commitments.
Yes.
And whether or not people know this, there are people now that, let's say when I was telling before about Wednesday, and you know this, when we go to Wednesday night to Westbury and we turn down that hall, there's got to be 20-some wheelchairs waiting for us. And if we don't show up, because we're so important for us to be there, then what happens to them? They've been waiting all day because it's been listed on their calendars and that. So I know we get busy and there's things we need to do, but we have a commitment to these residents and the patients at different places. That's our most important thing.
Absolutely.
We're-
TCU, we get a lot of that when we go in. They're so excited to see us
Mm-hmm.
because they left their dogs at home.
Hey, tell them about how important the dogs are at Barco, because you work at
Oh.
Barco.
Yeah, that, they look forward to that, just breaking up the monotony
Mm-hmm.
of sitting there receiving your chemo treatment or whatever, and you're bored, and along comes Sue.
Oh, well, and so do some other people too.
And others, yes.
What about, I know that Barco is so important for that reason, but what about to the staff?
We look
How
forward
about
to it.
the girl that works with her?
My doctor, Dr. Pastrica, she will get down on the floor
Right.
and just love on the dogs because it's a release for us as well.
And also the other person to stand behind the counter with
Reese.
you. She's crazy. You see her coming, we've got to run because she's trying to
She
grab the
does.
dogs.
She does. She
So
does
they're
it with
very,
everybody.
very important, especially at Barco. What a terrible, a wonderful, rewarding place, but so difficult emotionally to work there
Absolutely.
because of the people, and the dogs give them a little bit of a release.
Absolutely.
Okay, you're good, kiddo. Anything else? Anything else you want to add? We good? Okay, thanks very much. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for coming.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Okay, who's next? Here comes one. Oh, here comes. This will be a good one for you. Oh, come all the way around me. Yep, there you go. And then when you leave, just pull the door behind you. And this is
Chili Murray. This is my
Joey
friend.
Murray. Sit thyself down.
Sit. Chili, sit.
Okay. Even with a broken arm, a broken shoulder replacement, she's listening to you.
Yep, 4 months, 4 weeks past.
Okay, how did you get this monster?
This is my grand pup. My daughter and them, I got a beagle. The beagle was only about 4 months old. They just got her, she was 6 months old. And, well, the beagle yaps too much, so we can't have her in the places.
No,
He howls, and he's too much food-oriented, driven, so you can't have him around Dad.
Well, we gotta go back and talk about the one before. When did I meet you and who did you have? The love of my life?
This is 4 years ago. Jose, he was a Beagle Basset. They're called a Bagel. Wonderful, wonderful dog. He was just my heart dog. And but he was,
Got sick and we lost him, as we all do.
yeah.
And then we got this beagle, and I said to her, I saw the beagle, and this beagle howls. And I said, oh, Charlene, we've got a problem. Because telling Tucker, right?
Yeah, Tucker was.
Telling Tucker not to howl is like telling my collie not to shed. That's not going to work. So how did you get this one? Who does this belong to?
This belongs to my daughter, my granddaughter.
Who lives beside you?
Who live right beside me. I have a granddaughter, family on either side. But yeah, they got it because nobody wanted her. They were going to put her down. So they said, we'll take Chili Marie. Hot Chili. Yeah. And then I got to thinking after Tucker was not able to do it, I asked him if I could take her, and use her as our therapy dog. And that she's been really wonderful about it.
Can't imagine when the response with certain dogs whenever they walk in these facilities, because this comes into the facility, there you are lying in bed or in a wheelchair or whatever, and this comes in,
Big
and this is a big dog, and this is probably the biggest, I think, in our group right now. We used to have Newfoundlands for a
Yeah,
long time.
Newfoundland, we had a St. Bernard at one time.
Oh, yes, right.
Yep.
So now this is what we've got. And where do you hope to be able to go with this dog? It doesn't really matter to you.
It does not matter, the only thing is,
Well, we know some
we know
places.
where some places
Right.
we're allowed to go, but yeah, he can go anywhere. I'm just a little concerned about going into residents' rooms when they're crowded, because she is so big and getting her turned around and stuff. But
And what type of a leash do you have on her?
I have right now, I have a little 1-foot leash.
Hoopy's getting a picture of that leash. Yeah, the
With a
dogs,
choker.
yeah, one of the things that the dogs have to be on a 4-foot leash or shorter, but if you put Chili Marie on that, you've got a lot of extra leash
Yeah.
there. So we also offer to people a 2-foot leash and a 1-foot leash that they can use, and that of course works. And
And me being short and her being tall.
right, and
so
we also have Chili Marie's in a choke, and that works real well because that gives you more control
Yes.
as far as taking her places. So I think I see this dog, and I did a program on Armstrong with her.
Yep.
But I thought, oh my
With us,
God,
yeah.
this enormous dog, and how's she going to be with other dogs? She could care less.
No,
It's not an issue with
She's
other
fine.
dogs at all.
she's good with other dogs. I mean, my 2 dogs, now I have another dog I just got a couple weeks ago who will soon to be our
Yes.
our dog in next spring. So that's a basset hound.
Anything else? We're going to get you back doing something when you get out of this
Yeah, when
crazy
I get out of
swing.
this crazy thing, I'll be able to get out and get going again.
She'll be another one that I can call on the phone and say, Charlene, guess what? Someone can't be there. Can you be there in the next half hour and help us out?
So I'm not
Again,
working, I'm retired.
right, the commitment, you have to be where we say we're going to be.
Yep.
Okay, anything else you want to add?
No, nothing. It's just our gentle giant dog, huh?
She is something else. She sometimes has a bib on too,
Yes, I have a towel here. and
because she
does-
slobbers. If you want to see something interesting, go back on our programs, which we do for Armstrong, which are called My Dog and Me. And if they look, you'll be able to see Chili Marie and a whole 20 minutes talking about her as an English Mastiff, right?
Old English Mastiff.
Old English Mastiff.
Yep, that's what she is.
Okay, we're good. Thank you very much.
Okay, shall I heel?
Watch yourself. Don't let her upset you. There we go. We're going to go down those steps there.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Okay, next one. Oh, from the big to the little. Can you get that? Oh, she's got it. All right, come around this way. Cooper Duper.
Hi, Sue.
Okay, this is Cooper. You want to pick him up so that we all can see him?
Oh, come here, babe.
Oh, okay. Tell us, how old is Cooper? What is he, anyways?
Cooper is a Yorkshire Terrier.
Isn't he cute? And talking about the big one, you just saw the biggest in our group, and now you see the smallest in the group. We have another Yorkie in the group also. And how old is he?
Cooper is 9 years old.
He is something else. What made you do this therapy dog work?
Therapy dog. After I retired, I saw the article in the newspaper
Oh, okay,
for
right.
Alliance of Therapy Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well, that sounds like something we could do together. And I called you.
And we got it set up.
We got it set up.
Where are you visiting now with him?
We go to Westbury, Grace, Westbury Cribs, Embassy, Juniper Village,
Juniper Village.
Meadville Medical Center, Vernon, now Meadville Medical
Right.
Center.
You're going to be helping us, excuse me, I didn't mean to kick you. You're going to be helping us at Meadville Medical Center because we have another shelter, a little Yorkie. Unfortunately, that owner of that Yorkie is going to be incapacitated with some medical reasons for a while. So I called up Cheryl and I say, I need another dog at Meadville Medical Center. And I love this dog. I tell everybody, if she puts it down, I could steal this dog in a second. Look at this face. He has a face that, it's just unbelievable. He is so cute.
He and Happy were at Meadville Medical Center on Monday.
So they had 2 Yorkies there.
And they had a ball.
I'll bet. I heard all about it because I was there today. They were talking about seeing the Yorkies on Monday.
And then we're going to Vernon after this.
Oh, are you?
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay, cool, cool. He visited with me last Friday.
Yes.
We had Maddie, my collie, and we had Cooper, so we were telling everybody because we needed something to entertain ourselves. You can put them down if you want. To entertain ourselves. So we walked down the hall, my collie, which is right about this high, and Cooper, and we introduced them as the movie stars because, of course, Maddie is a collie, so that would be Lassie. And Cooper Duper is like Toto from The Wizard of Oz. Oh, he is cute. Here's the plan. If somebody can think of a way to get her away from him for a while, I just think he's darling. There's something about that face that if he were in a, and God forbid he was never, but in a pet shop window, I would steal him in a heartbeat for that look. Wouldn't I, Cooper?
Yeah.
We had trouble in the beginning with him, though.
Yes, we did.
What was our first problem?
He has this little, little growl he does, the low growl.
And what did I say?
She said, no.
Not gonna work.
It's not gonna work. If you can't get him under the control, then he's not gonna be a therapy dog.
So the second visit was a little bit better,
A little better.
and the third visit it was,
In the third visit, we had a talk, and he's done well.
He does.
Every once in a while, he'll do that when he first meets a new dog.
right, he does well. Now, when we were at, I met you outside, we walked in whenever I had Maddie, and there wasn't even a thought of a growl. But if he's gonna meet someone new, then our best thing is that they meet ahead of time.
Yes, and for me to pick him up.
Right, perfect. Anything else you want to add?
No, he's my buddy.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Well, on to the next. Okay. Okay. And we're going to really talk about this one. Okay, turn this one around. And who is this?
This is Tori.
Did you threaten her within an inch of her life to
No,
behave?
but I
she's,
told her-
she's good.
I've told her several times, no luck.
No lick. Let's talk. Well, introduce her first, and then we'll talk about something like that.
This is Tori. She is an 8-year-old black Labrador Retriever. She is an excellent therapy dog. She's been doing it for about 3 years, but I took a break, and because she did too much licking, and I wanted to get that under control, but that didn't happen. So I came back.
Some dogs, it's tough. Much, in my opinion, much worse than this is the Cavalier King Charles. For whatever reason, they seem to do it. Although little Cooper doesn't, who is the Yorkie, the Cavalier King Charles sometimes are a problem. And that's the problem, you know. And the other, what are the other problems that people would have? I'll just say one. One is they want to get everything off the floor, especially in the nursing facilities. You have a dog that's like scavengers.
She has actually done that. She goes into nursing homes. We go to TCU twice a month. And the first thing she does is her nose is down, looking for every possible crumb she can find. And she listens to me. She brings her head up, and she will listen to me. But she reaches a point where, no, I'm not going to listen anymore. And she gets her head down there and wants to look. She is a retriever after all, and she uses her nose for everything.
She sure does. And where are some of the places you visit?
I go to TCU, which is Transitional Care Unit for Meadville Medical Center. I go to Stepping Stones through Meadville Medical Center. I do Westbury, Cribs. I do Cambridge Springs Elementary. I do Allegheny College.
And you're also in charge of a venue. What does that mean?
When I'm in charge of a venue, it is to make sure that we have coverage for that particular venue. I text or email or call the people that are on my list and make sure that they're going to come a day or two before. And it's my job that if something comes up and they can't make it, I have to find a substitute. There have been times when I've gone by myself.
Yep, and I have too.
Yeah.
It just happens.
But it's because the venue that we go to really, really looks forward to it. And you don't want to disappoint them.
We've talked so much about that. That is the most important thing. Is it's easy for us to say, I'm not going today. But what about the people that are waiting? It doesn't work for them because they want so badly to see the dogs. Anything else about Tori we need to know?
Well, like I said, she does have the licking issue. I was in therapy and Stan. I was in therapy and she just was a horrible licker, so I pulled her out. And then one day I was at the park walking her, and I wasn't in therapy. I walked away from it. And this little boy with a physical disability and mental disability just came running up to her, and Tori just stood there and wagged her tail and just let that little boy just pet her. He was rough, because he didn't know, and she just let him do it. And I thought, I got to get back into this.
So she does. She's good. Some dogs are good at it, and she is good at it. She stands, she lets things happen, and that's important.
She's being very lazy right now.
Well, she's tired. She's having a tired day. Is there anything else? Would you recommend PhD? Are you glad
Highly
you did
recommend
it?
PhD.
You like it?
I do like it. It's very organized. We have a lot of venues. And the way you work around people's schedules, it's a big deal because I have other things in my life that I'm taking care of too. And there are days when she's not well, and I don't want her to go to therapy because she comes first.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Talk just very briefly about that. The dog's health is our #1 priority all the time.
It is. And if she has any kind of issues, because we all know our dogs, we know how to read them, we know when they're not quite right. I will not take her to a venue because, like I said, she comes first. I've been to venues where I can see she's shutting down, and for whatever reason, and I say, I'm sorry, I've got to go, she's done. And so PhD accepts all that and respects all that, and it's a wonderful program, absolutely wonderful program.
Well, thanks very much. I appreciate it. Okay.
Jory's going to go home and take a nap now.
That's what they do. Okay. Now, the next person in, Bonnie, you get to come in. Come on, you're coming in. Bonnie has a dog. She's got 3 dogs. One is a therapy dog. It's a golden retriever, Rocky. She has another one, which is her, whatever, how do we refer to Ginger? Her crazy dog.
Crazy dog. She's my crazy dog. She's a lab shepherd mix. She was a dump dog from the bark park. Somebody literally went down the road and dumped her off. She was 10 months old. We checked everywhere to see if we could find an owner. To no avail. She didn't come. We kept her at the bark park for 10 days trying to find an owner, and I won't tell you the hand motions Sue made to me every time we talked about her going to the pound.
I did, and then she finally said, okay, I'll take her. And then she did.
So,
she's going to be a therapy dog
yeah,
soon.
she's going to be a therapy dog very, very soon. We did some classes with Robin Peterson with Red Ball Academy. We highly recommend her. And but Ginger's going to be a good dog. When she wags her tail, her whole body wags. So she's going to be fantastic.
Who did you have before Rocky?
I had Wilson.
What kind of dog was Wilson?
Wilson was a Shih Tzu Lhasa Apso mix. He came from the Anna shelter. We got him, he was 2 months old. We did some training classes with him because he was 2 years old and I knew nothing about him. And we found out he was so laid back that he needed to be a therapy dog. And he was a therapy dog for, well, he was 13 when he died. And
About 10 years then.
About 10 years. So, and my golden Rocky, he's been doing it for 5.5 years. So it's a commitment to me to do Paws Hand Delivered, and I love it. We go to the venues, all kinds of venues, but the biggest thing is you got to show up, and we do them twice a month. And the nursing home people, they have a calendar and they know when they come, when we're coming. And I can't tell you how many times you hear from them, the residents, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming. It means so much to us. So it's a wonderful program.
Well, Bonnie's also the backup for me. A lot of times whenever I've got other commitments and I can't be somewhere, or for instance today helping with this organization and getting everybody up here. But it helps a lot to have someone that I can depend on that does that. So she puts up with me, which is good. I have to put up with her, which is tough. But anyways, we work it out real well. Should people join PhD?
Absolutely. If they have a dog that's willing, and you'll know if your dog is willing, take them for a walk. If they want to see people, I'm not going to tell you that the dog should run up to them because that's not how it goes. But we can work with that. We can do training classes with that. But if your dog is really wants to see people, then this is an organization that you need to belong to.
Okay, good. Thanks very much.
All right,
Appreciate
thanks.
it. So you've heard all about it. You've met probably 10 different dogs. And the things that I want to tell you is the following. If you find out about this, go online and look up for therapy dogs. Again, ours is the Alliance of Therapy Dogs out of Cheyenne, Wyoming. A good organization, in my opinion. We as a group, Paws Hand Delivered, that's our local group. We have a Facebook page, not a website, but a Facebook page, which will be the Paws Hand Delivered. You can go on there. You'll see the list of the 35, 40 places that we visit. You'll find out what it takes to have a dog that's a therapy dog. A lot of the information I went over today with you will be on that Facebook page. You can find me by calling 814-671-2809. If you have any questions, if you think about it, if you know of a dog that belongs to a neighbor and you think, my God, that dog should be a therapy dog, mention it to them. And I hope that you liked this. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. And I hope you will consider joining us as something to do, even if you are a full-time employee and you can give us 2 nights a month and visit somewhere, or you can do Saturdays, or if you're retired, which is probably the greatest, then I can get you a lot more to do an awful lot of visiting. So thank you very much for watching. Again, if you need to get in touch with me, 814-671-2809, and catch you the next time. And check all of our programs that we have done for Armstrong, My Dog and Me, and you can also catch us on YouTube. Thank you.